A new law in India targets evangelism and online religious speech. The Freedom of Religion Amendment, recently passed by the Uttarakhand State Assembly, raises serious concerns about religious freedom. This new law prohibits promoting or inciting religious conversion, offending religious sentiments, and glorifying other religions. Many Christians believe the law is specifically aimed at them and threatens their efforts to share the gospel in India. Brian Orme, the president and CEO of Global Christian Relief, is an organization that operates in India. They've expressed concerns about the implications of this legislation. Okay, Brian, 12 Indian states, including Uttarakhand, have strict anti-conversion laws, this in the world's largest democracy. So what prompted the state assembly there to pass even greater restrictions focusing on digital platforms?
Yeah, it is alarming, and I would say it's definitely one of the most restrictive laws we've seen, and it's precedent setting, but it's definitely an act, we believe, by the Hindu Nationalist Party to more strictly target Christians and weaponize these amendments to restrict minority of faith and to, again, lift up the Hindu Nationalist Party.
Well, there must have been a lot of gains online in winning people to Christ. Is it specifically targeting Christians?
It's targeting anyone who speaks out on to convert or share their faith. But these new developments, and I've got the amendment right here in my hands. The new amendments to it extend online for anyone who basically speaks about their faith or touts one faith over the other. But it's very difficult to pin down exactly what that means, and so it could mean anything from sharing your testimony, sharing a Bible verse, talking about your own faith could be seen as heralding yours better than others, and you could be arrested without any other proof beyond that. And so we have our partners on the ground who are already talking to pastors, and they're scrubbing their YouTube channels, they're pulling down social media, and many of them are even contemplating whether they need to leave the state.
Well, it's normal for Christians to share their faith, and in sharing their faith, you tell the benefits of what Jesus has meant to you as you've been transformed and changed. I mean, is that being targeted?
It is. In fact, the amendment expands language. It makes it more vague, but it includes like any kind of like easy life that you're giving them, any kind of benefits whatsoever. So it could even be like giving a meal to someone who's hungry in the name of Christ, or even just giving a meal at all. But being a Christian organization could put you at risk completely for forced conversion. So there's all of these pieces that are making it very difficult for the Christian community to live, to express their faith, to talk about their what God's doing in their lives without the fear of the repercussions of being arrested and detained. And it is one of those things where in India, through this law, you are guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty.
Well, and India has signed on, I guess it hasn't actually signed the Declaration of Human Rights, the UN Declaration of Human Rights, but it is a UN Charter member. It signed the Charter at the founding of the UN. That commits them to human rights. And the amendment bans digital propaganda. So what does that mean? Specifically, what is considered propaganda and who decides what is and isn't propaganda?
That is the whole problem, Gary. And the propaganda could be defined as, again, just sharing your faith. And it really kind of explicitly says touting one faith above the other. And so who's to say, who's the judge of what that looks like?
And they talk about hurting the sentiments of another faith. I mean, obviously, if Hindus are critical of Christianity or Islam, they're not going to be punished, are they?
No, this is definitely going directly towards the minority faiths, especially Christians, and it's forced to stop any kind of growth of the house church. Especially, we're seeing it explode in rural places like Chhattisgarh. And this, again, these types of rules are meant to squash those movements and allow Christians to, again, force them underground, force them to again, like not be in the public space and have a voice. And it's also like this new amendment even gives punishment up until life imprisonment for more severe and sensitive cases. So this is it's a very serious law, and it has incredible implications. I mean, up to 3 years to 5 years in prison for some, but also up to life for others. And again, who's to decide, what those actual punishments would be? Could be up to the people who are looking at this.
Do you think this is going to, this amendment will be adopted by the other states that already have anti-conversion laws?
I do. I think it fits right into the direction where if they're doing it, setting a precedent, I do believe that the other anti-conversion states will take this on. And again, we'll probably see another level of rising persecution, unfortunately, across India.
And I must remind people that there are 12 states in India that have anti-conversion laws. This is just expanding it in Uttarakhand to say, look, even digital, you can't do things online. So how are Christians responding to this law? Is it deterring them from sharing their faith? And what can be done, Brian, to reverse this digital anti-conversion amendment?
Yeah, it is so difficult because it's touted as a law that's going to help religious freedom, but in reality, what it does is it weaponizes and forces minority religions into silence. And talking to many believers and being in India last year, traveling around and meeting with church leaders, and many of those who have converted from Hindu or converted from the Sikh faith and suffered the consequences, is that I would say this: there's a heart of Christianity that runs so strong that God is doing a work through the church across many regions in India, where people are still bold in their witness, but careful in their practice. And so it might be being very cautious about how you share your faith, but still not being fearful to do it. And again, there's great risk involved in that. There's still churches that are growing, and they have to be very leery about any new person coming in who might be looking to expose or bring a charge against them as well. So I think the church is having to be so much more cautious, so much more aware, but there's still a bold thread that is moving forward to say that these laws will not stop us from worshiping and expressing our faith freely.
Well, Christ said there would be a cost for following him, and this is in the world's largest democracy. Okay, Brian Orme, President and CEO of Global Christian Relief. Thanks for sharing your insights on this new law, Brian. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Gary.